we have the MP Rupa Huq, who's also agreed can speak. You have 5 minutes, madam.
Thanks, Chital. Thanks, Chair. Ealing's future centre and library and municipal building has to be got right. So given the scope, scale and position of this application, and the fact it was dreamt up by a developer pre-COVID and now begs multiple questions, this application should not be approved now, but deferred for adjustment. Take Ealing Council's 10,000 and rising housing waiting list and its own strategic housing market assessment. It insists on any future development having family housing and being affordable. But what a mistrick here. Of 477 units, just 7 are 3-bedroom. And 50% on public land, that is a bare minimum. Mayor of London projects insist on 60 as a minimum. Hammersmith and Fulham over the border have redone their cinema with housing. They've gone over 50 and they have not touched DMR, which is the bulk of this one. So that 50% has been arrived at by massaging figures because discount market rent is not considered genuinely affordable by any housing expert because it is 80% of market value. And given Ealing Broadway, high value area, that's not going to be affordable for anyone apart from the well-heeled. And so what we have in this mix, 70 of the 477 are affordable rent, which is the old council style. A disappointingly small number. 251 are for private sale, but all the indications show that they face a difficult market. We know that in the post-COVID future, we're going to have to learn to live with this. Repeated new variants, other novel coronaviruses coming, which means that flats are proving difficult to shift. I spoke to St Andrews today, who said there's a lot of them without patio space, even more so without parking. They are not selling in Ealing. We know from Dickens Yard that the price point has to be right. And we know that unlet retail space is a problem already, just yards away from this one. How many more vibrant quarters can we take? How many more hoardings and boarded up shops is good for Ealing? But we can fix this if we fix the mix now. We don't want to be another Croydon. It went bust with an overambitious town centre project full of albatrosses, unsellable. Let's fix this now. Let's ensure that we can say to our children, we did everything possible, not just conform to the bare minimum for a developer who wanted to turn a quick profit before getting out and letting us, leaving us to deal with the fallout. In 2 weeks' time, the pioneering Ealing Council Design Review Panel takes up its posts. They've been selected as expert architects to oversee all future developments. Why don't we give this to them as the first project to sink their teeth into? They could add safeguards into the process. For example, we don't know about fire escapes here. There should be 2 sets of staircases in every building from now on so that the fire brigade can get in and that any resident has two ways, left or right, if the building catches flames. The 1,400 objections as well could be neutralised with more consultation. People don't just want 2 boards outside Tesco's for 2 weekends and a website. So let's build in, let's take people with us, because again, we are not legally obliged to listen to those 1,400 people, but surely with the future of our town centre, we're only going to get one chance to radically remodel it. Let's take them with us with more consultation. Let us learn from the mistakes of Croydon, of LTNs. People feel these things have been smuggled in under the guise of COVID. So let's do it properly. Let's not take these decisions in haste. This is an important one. Let's learn from the mistakes of Grenfell, of Dickens Yard. That was a previous administration. But again, unlet shops, too expensive housing. We don't want something that dwarfs our historic town centre and detracts from it. So let us proceed with the DRP in a spirit of transparency and accountability, with their blessing. After all, if they are taking a bit of Ealing's sky, with so many question marks, the library, there's no detail over that. The fire escapes, all these things, the housing mix that is so not suited to housing need. If they are taking a bit of Ealing's sky, surely the least that we can ask for is a bit more detail in a post-COVID future as we learn to live with this virus. This thing was created at the wrong time, and a lazy developer who doesn't want to redo the application shouldn't be got off the hook. Let's give them more time and let's get this right.
Can I emphasise that fire safety, the London Fire Brigade were consulted on the application and have given specific comments with regard to it. And there is a fire safety report as part of the application package and a condition of permission to have regard to that in
Are
the
there
preparation of the
two means of escape? Are there 2 stairwells in every block? Because that's not clear to me and nobody has got back to me about that. And that we should insist as a minimum post Grenfell. It's not in law, but we can make that in here.